This is fueling. Have you ever been in a situation where you're nearly run out of gas and you've pulled into a fueling station or a gas station? You know that situation where you're like almost out of gas, but you pull into a gas station. Have you ever been in that situation? I'm sure, right? Not fun. But there's two observations of this scenario I want to make. One of them is with an empty tank in that car, we always look to do what? Fill it up. The second observation is this. Think about this. It's kind of a funny thought. Before filling it up next time, so that empty car, before you fill it up, turn to the car and ask the car if it's hungry or thirsty. Now, if cars could talk, it might say yes, but cars don't talk. They have one purpose, right? A car, that one purpose, and it's to go. So the gasoline kind of acts, or the electricity these days, right? Serves as go-go juice. So it's about power and performance. So just get that mind shift right there about that scenario, because that's where we're going. There are even different grades of fuel that promote higher performance, right? So all of you health nuts out there, do you feel like your fuel has a higher grade and and instills higher performance? So I see this as a direct analogy that you can use today with your diet and your nutrition, as well as the consumption of anything, in fact, right? Don't just think about water, nutrition. Think about anything that you consume and let's practice today learning to identify the difference between food and fuel, because they have a very distinct difference. So on the program that I coach, our goal goes way beyond the results that people typically come in, looking for. Maybe like that's the analogy of the gas tank being empty, right? They just want to fill it up. A lot of people come in with this initial, desire to lose weight, maybe even, get healthy and things like that. But our program has a very, very big different, a very different outcome that we're looking on. So we want long-term habit transformation. So, right, one behavior modification is teaching the difference to our clients. And this is what I want to offer you today, teaching the difference between food and fuel. And I've taught my kids this as well. Food is something that we consume in reaction to how we feel. What are typical feelings? Happy, sad, bored, tired, angry, right? Those are all feelings. And we typically eat in reaction to those things. So it's a reactionary model, like the car with the empty tank. Fuel, however, is something that we consume and combust. Check that word for a second, combustion. Consume and combust for function and performance, including longevity, right? Like the car, we need not be hungry to consume fuel. And the strategy of what we call fueling is to fuel frequently, proactively, and be mindful also just by saying the word fuel, right? I mean, if you're watching a TV show or the news, or even listening to this right now, is this fuel for you, right? Or is this food, right? Are you just consuming this just for distraction, or is this enriching your life? So when you go back to the Rise Up with Day Challenge, and you're reading something for 15 minutes, make sure it's fuel for your mind, right? So frequently and be mindful of what's in it. So that's a cool trigger when you say fuel. It makes you think about what's in what you're eating or consuming. So for you athletes to absorb this, the goal is to fuel to train, right? That's a proactive approach rather than train to fuel. So a lot of people go train, and then in reaction to how they feel after they train, they will fuel. It doesn't work like that. So are you waiting till your body craves something that it's lacking, or fueling your body proactively to avoid the deficiency in the first place? So that's what it means to proactively fuel your body. We do the same thing now, and here's the attachment. We do the same thing these days with social media and news, right? We consume those things in reactionary model to how we're feeling, right? If you're pissed off, you might go fuel that fire by watching something that pisses you off even more. You might watch something positive and uplifting if you're bummed out. But the idea would be to control what we consume, right? Remember, whatever it is that we consume on a regular basis ends up being what we assume in a regular basis. So we consume in reaction to our feelings in that model. So look at everything today, including the content and people that you interface with. So the food, the liquids, the people, the content that you interface with, and practice fueling rather than consuming as your body and mind are programmed to tell you to do so. Your body is programmed with that knee-jerk stress response system. So sometimes you do these things without even knowing it. So you have to be mindful of this stuff. So if you need some guidance, support, structure, and accountability, reach out and we'll talk. It's what I do, or just listen to this podcast. So you'll reclaim control. You'll put your hands back on the wheel, and that's the wheel that steers your life towards your goals and dreams. Make sense? So there's your focus for today. I will see you all tomorrow at 7:30 a.m. And I wish you nothing more than just the most amazing, blessed day. And one little secret you could do today is go be somebody's day maker. Go do something out of the ordinary to help somebody else out and tell me how you feel. Have an amazing day, everybody.